from Digital Dealership Systems, the one,
the only Todd
Katcher. Let's go. Welcome to the party, brother.
Hey guys, thanks for the intro. That was probably the best intro I've ever had. That was awesome. Thank you.
Well deserved, bro. Well deserved. We're excited. I know that you're somebody that's excited about what you're doing right now, and you should be, man. That smile on your face tells it all. You know, you're getting ready to go to NADA, and as we all know, as vendors, you're investing a lot of money and time. Time is very valuable to you, my friends. Yeah. A lot of money and time to be there to share the great news. And I'm excited to learn more about the great news about your business, but more importantly, we want to learn more about you, my friend. We're going to ask a couple questions at the beginning just to kind of get that going. You know, I got to learn a little bit more about you, you know, have a great conversation, just see how steady you are, man. You are definitely a navigator who is definitely guiding people towards the right way right now. And I'm excited to share that. So tell people a little bit more about what you're doing and why you do it.
We've been doing digital dealership system for over, I think it's 12, 13 years now. Yeah. And so it's a bootstrap company born out of a meeting that I had. I used to own some bars in Nashville, and a car dealer came up, and I had a digital sign network at about 100 bars and restaurants in Nashville, going back to 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. And I had a dealer came up to me, one of our regulars at a bar at the time, downtown Nashville. And he said, "Hey, I need one of those screens for my dealership." And I said, "Well, what would you want to put on it?" And that really was a formidable experience to determine what we have now, because everything that we've built since then has been built off of those types of discussions with dealers. So we constantly go back to the dealers when we're having demos or going to NADA or digital dealers we used to do, or some other different conventions that we did over time. We really ask dealers, what are they looking for? And then recently we've just grown a monster of a program that we call Pulse, which is our leaderboards for fixed ops, as well as sales, as well as a BDC. And our products keep growing because dealers say, I want this. We don't have a program that does this. And as an entrepreneur, you know, you always want to provide the solution that customers want versus steering them a direction into products that I want to sell. It's really up to the consumer to determine. And so we listen to those dealers and continually extend our product. So constantly innovating, not stuck. We're a small company, but we're consistently innovating and consistently coming out with newer products and newer features to our services.
That's awesome. And the story itself is pretty incredible, man. There's so many conversations, there's so many careers, there's so many changes inside of the normal status quo flow that happens just being inside of a restaurant, especially for people inside of this industry. Major deals go down inside of the restaurant. You capture a great server and put them on the lot because you've seen them do some great work, and then you also see somebody doing some innovative stuff. It's crazy that it happened inside of a store like that, and inside of a situation where a dealer was just like, I gotta have that. Where did you get that? Let me get some of that with me. Yeah, that's awesome, because we've been to quite a few stores in our time now, and we've been able to see these systems activated inside of stores or something similar. What's awesome is, like you said, Todd, being able to adjust it and being able to be the entrepreneur that says, what is a problem that has yet to be fixed, or what is a need or a desire that a dealer or one of our clients actually want? And let's go ahead and innovate for that. It's awesome to be as nimble as you are right now. Also, what is it that made you start wanting to make sure that you fine-tune this to what the dealerships wanted? And in general, even inside of the restaurant, what made you want to keep this messaging consistent for wherever the audience was?
Well, going back to when I owned 3 bars in Nashville at the time, I had the concept was, why are people advertising in bathrooms? So there was a really huge company. They had like 15,000 signs in restrooms. And basically they're just printed 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper in a frame in restrooms. And I said, people don't go to bars to hang out in restrooms. They hang out in the actual area where the people are, right? So why don't we advertise to people there? So when I started this concept after meeting with the dealer, I said, well, where are people? And everywhere where you go in a car dealership, you have a different message to speak to the customer based on their journey, or in the staff for motivating them. And even back then, it's crazy to think like 15 years later, dealers are still using dry erase boards in to motivate their team and to track their team 15 years later. Like dealers said, oh, I've been in this business for so long. Yeah, you're still doing the same things you've always been doing. And so we wanted to innovate that. And we've had this product for over 10 years. But if you look at the customer journey, the opportunity to go ahead and revolutionize that with digital signs and to upgrade to then the 2000s. But I mean, now in 2026, there are still some dealers that will write their trades that they want, or the trade-ins that they get, or some sort of motivation, or maybe even sales appointments on a dry erase board in 2026. Dealerships sign up for widgets all day long for their websites and for tools to go ahead and increase sales in some way or increase exposure in some way. How many people are actually advertising the same way that they were in the year 2000 or 2008 when this concept started? Mm-hmm. So people have come a long way. Technology's come a long way, but many dealerships haven't, unless it's a mandate from the manufacturer. So there's such a large market for dealers to go ahead and innovate inside their store, because they spend so much money. The average dealer is going to spend between $50,000 and $100,000 to drive traffic to the store. Mm. And then how much are they actually spending inside the store in a digital way? If they spend 1% to 2%, they completely revolutionize their store and make themselves better than their competitors. They stand out, and it makes them a place that people want to work, because the staff sees that the dealer is investing in them as well. So that's kind of the concept that we're working with.
Yeah. And I gotta say, seriously, I love your passion behind that. I could tell that this isn't something that you do. This is something that you are, right? And I absolutely love that you're out here really spreading this great news and really encouraging people to get better. That's really the key, and being able to market to people in the right place at the right time with your message, and them not hearing some negativity, for them to not be doing all the things that we don't want them doing while they're in our dealership. We want them having a great experience, right? The customer experience matters. And the more that we can express that, and it really also, customer perception matters. Mm-hmm. So them seeing us having success on certain things, so many different ways to be able to show that off. But also, I love the dealer vision, the dealer side of these things, right? Really being able to see our stuff. Like if I'm a sales manager, being able to really look at my team and be able to see where they're at any moment throughout the day, just by glancing up at a big sales leaderboard, in a sense, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what they are, leaders. They're all leaders. And so the board is full of them. Right? I don't care if you're top or bottom, we're all leaders. So I love what you're doing, brother. And this is some phenomenal news. Those claps is the least that we can put in here. Those applause for what you just said. Awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really, when we install our system at stores, whether they do it or we do it, our product is a la carte product. We send them a media player that's pre-programmed, and a lot of dealers today have very sophisticated staff, so they can install a media player without a problem at most stores. Although, we do have some stores that are a little bit antiquated in that aspect. But in general, the dealers are going to go ahead and install the system, and once they get it, they go, I don't know how I lived without this. And that goes no matter which program they have, and the customers rave about it too. But it's that leap, right? I came up with this analogy the other day. So how many people, I think over 50% of the people in the United States are overweight, right? So there's a process that people come to making a decision. At some point, they go ahead and say, hey, I have a problem, right? So acknowledging the problem is the first step. And then what they do is, the next step is they go ahead and seek a solution. So they do research, right? When you think about weight loss, you think about different ways that you could do weight loss, right? So then you look for that, and you feel accomplished at every step of the way. Well, then the next person says, I'm going to join a gym. So then they look up gyms, right? So then they feel accomplished at each part. Well, at any time, they could walk away and feel that they did something. A lot of dealers fall into this as well when trying to change their evolution for years of doing something a certain way. And they're like, oh, I'm going to go look for it. I see a problem with, why am I showing competitors commercials in the lounge? Why do my customers not know their service status? Why do we still use a dry erase board in 2026? Why does my fixed ops director go ahead and spend 4 hours building a report that digital dealership system will go ahead and create in 10 seconds or less? So they acknowledge they have an issue, and then they go ahead and research it, but they still don't do anything. Then they sign up for, in our case, a demo, or let's say they sign up for a gym in the previous analogy, or they just go to the gym to get an interview to see if they're interested. At any time, they could bow out and feel accomplished that they did something, but they didn't solve the problem. Go to the fitness analogy again, they join the gym and never go, or they go for a week and don't stick to their goals. So again, at any time they could bow out, and that happens in the vendor world again. They acknowledge there's an issue. These issues in dealerships haven't just popped up. Think about the lounge situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's your best customer. They're probably already paying for service. They probably bought their car from you, or they're buying their next car from you, you hope, right?
Oh.
They're choosing to stay with you, right? So they could go home, they could get a shuttle service, they could get a ride home, they get an Uber home. Dealerships may even offer them a way home, but they're saying, no, I'm good. I'll wait for an hour. I'll get caught up on emails, or I'll check my phone, or I'll have some coffee or donuts or whatever you offer here, right? Well, you're paying, that customer is your customer. You're paying for a cable service, and then you're allowing your competitors to advertise to them in your lounge. Whether it's a quick lube place, whether it's another car dealership, whatever it is, it's enticing that person to go ahead and potentially consider other options that they weren't before. That is not a new problem for dealerships. And so dealerships say, okay, well, what are the solutions out there? They don't even admit they have a problem, but if they do, I mean, our product's $99 a month. It's not a cost thing. It's getting over the hump of doing what you've always done and hoping to get different results versus changing something. And that's really where we come in.
I love that. He goes to rewind that, guys, gals, everyone listening, solutionaries, $99 a month. WTH, right?
Yeah.
Both of them. So I'm just saying, like, for real, like, this is at least an opportunity for you to sit down and listen to what this man has to say. I know you guys are hearing the show. This is not going to be the only show. You're going to see some stuff from NADA, but you're also going to see him after NADA. We're going to put together another show because this stuff is really important to keep sharing out there, folks, before, during, and after. I know some of y'all busy right now. Got so much going on. I got to get ready for NADA. Well, I'm telling you, this is all you need right now. And this will help you save a lot of time and really get the support of your staff, but also your customers all at the same time. Again, we have the QR code that's sitting right there for if you guys want a demo, just go there. We're going to give you some more information as we go. But man, this is some fire stuff, right, Lou? You know, $99, right? Opportunity. I know, again, I brought up NADA. So let's talk about that for a quick second. NADA plan. What are your plans for NADA, my friend? Tell everybody where you're going to be at, your booth, the whole nine.
We are in the West Hall, the main hall, 4631W. And we have a big booth. We have big staff coming into town. And we're ready. We'll have displays set up with, we have 8 TVs and a video wall and a touch screen there. So we'll be ready to go. We're going to be highlighting our fixed ops leaderboard, our sales leaderboard, as well as our customer lounge TV with built-in status, as well as our service status menu. Those are our top 4 products. And so we're going to be highlighting that. We also do video walls as well. We've done them up to 5x5, which is 25 screens. Absolutely insane. $100,000 for a video wall. And we're happy to go ahead and do those with a complete turnkey installation, but that will be there as well. And then we're just focusing on giving information to customers. We have a couple of announcements at NADA that will be rolling out, and super excited about that. I could preview it here if you guys are interested in learning something new. That's going to be coming out just next week, but that's up to you if you're in the mood for some new fire.
If there's one show that we're always okay to spill some beans before they get out,
please spill the beans in here. That's what this whole campaign is about.
Seems right.
Yeah,
it seems right by the name, right?
No, we want people to get the smell of that good stuff that's brewing.
Man, so you guys are going to hear about it.
We have 2 big announcements for NADA. One is we've always been a managed service provider. So if you think back to when we started, what did the customer lounge TV look like back then? You had a big, huge tube TV, maybe that big furniture. Remember that with the big speakers underneath? And it was like, it was on wheels, right? Back then, I would buy a 1366 by 768 high definition TV for like $1,200, $1,500. And it was in a case that was super thick, and they weighed like 200 pounds each. And so we've always provided what we call a managed service, and those start at $99 a month, and we still offer those. And the opportunity there is that dealerships can focus on their business. They don't have to train their staff. Whenever there's a price change or a content change, they just send us an email, and within 24 hours, our system's updated. That's a managed service. Well, now we've come out with a self-managed service that's less than $50 a month, and it's including a media player. So as a turnkey solution, they get the media player, and here's the kicker. Less than $50 a month, including the media player, Wi-Fi, HDMI. It's a full media player. It's not like a USB stick or an HDMI stick. It has a 200 gigabyte hard drive built into it as well. So plenty of room for storage. And then they have access to the same templates and the same content that our team uses here in our office, but the difference is that it's self-managed. So they create everything themselves. So the difference between managed and self-managed, by the name itself, is that they go ahead and log in and set everything up from scratch. Now, we provide them with some help documentation, but they're managing the system. That's an alternative to dealers that want to go ahead and buy their own PC, sign up for some digital sign program just to run a slideshow. They have the exact same multiple zone templates that we use in our store and the same content. So it's automatically going to upload, manage all the manufacturer videos are automatically going to be updated. All the lounge TV programs going to be updated for less than $50 a month. So remember that going back to the Wayback Machine, dealerships were not as sophisticated 20 years ago as they are now. Now everybody has cell phones. Everybody can go ahead and connect to a computer to make updates. So if they want to allocate the staff internally to make these updates, they can, and they could save monthly expense, but it will still look like a professional display on the board because they use the exact same templates that we use. And they could go further to create anything else they want to on their own because it has over 100 widgets built into it. It has RSS feeds built into it. And it's the same system that we created. We built the digital sign software from scratch that we're rolling out as another company to the masses in the next couple of weeks. That's announcement number one.
Wow. What?
Well, that's give them the hand claps.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I got just one more time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Again, and that's just number one, my friends.
That is number one.
I'm like, hold on. I'm like self-managed.
This is. Let me pause on this for a moment, everybody, because
for less than $50 a month, I almost want. It's almost. I feel like he's about to go.
Yeah.
But wait, if you buy in the next 90 minutes, you get not just one, you get two. Right? That's how awesome of a deal that is, my friends. I love that. Wow.
Well, Todd, so it ends up being $1,000 for 2 years of service, including the media player. That's for free. So that's how it breaks down. It's about $42, $43 a month if you break it down.
Wow. That is pretty incredible. And wow is the word right now for me, because this seems to have an origin in wowing a dealer owner and being something that made them go, whoa, wow, this would enhance my experience. This would enhance what it is that my customers feel, my customers see, and help retarget my customers with marketing that's specific to me. There is a huge wow factor to this, and sometimes you have to see it. And I'll give a little bit of credit to some of the dealers out there. Some of you are used to doing what it is that you do on a nonstop basis because some of it works, because it's also all that you've known. But what I love is that this industry often does run off of, hey, what is the other guy doing? Or what do other dealers say about that? Especially when mixing the technology to dealership lifestyle. Sometimes technology doesn't talk dealership and vice versa. But when there is something that wows you, when there is something that catches your attention, and somebody is forward thinking enough to say, hey, that would be fun for not just my people, but for my customers. How do I get that in there? I applaud the dealer that reached out to you and said, how do I get that inside of my store? Because it literally is the thing that would be, hey, Mr. Dealer, recognize that this was actually birthed by a dealer who said that they wanted to do this, and we built this around that. That's an awesome factor. And then hearing that you also take it to the next level, which, again, a $99 service for what it is that you are providing, to be able to mute the voices of other marketers, other dealerships, other competitors.
Just news. They put it on news channels sometimes, Lou, like literally like the worst news that nobody wants to hear about the economy and it's crashing. No, we want them to feel good. We want them to be in the buying mood. We want them to have the trusting mood that's going to be okay. And that, my friend, alone means a lot, but all that together, bro, that stuff just makes my head go, hello, let's go.
But wowed by the $99, even more wowed by the less than $50 that it will be for somebody inside of your store to jump in there and customize it to you and have the same capabilities. I can't believe there's more, but wait, there's more. Go ahead and give us number two, Todd.
Number two. Yeah. So we came out with the sales leaderboard probably about 10 years ago. And over time, we've redone it completely from scratch. And the original concept was to replace a dry erase board with a digital solution. And over time, dealers have asked, hey, we want more reporting on the back end of the system. So sales managers and staff know where they are. So do month over month, year over year evaluations, to go ahead and dig into the numbers a little bit more, to go ahead and drill down, and to go ahead and create some sort of plan for the future using past performance sometimes, or to go ahead and compare to their other tools that they have that cost exponentially more than ours, but aren't being used. So we created the sales leaderboard that now is branded as Pulse. And then we have it for sales, fixed, and BDC. But recently, over the last 6 to 9 months, we've really heard dealers say, hey, can you build something even more on the back end that's not for my sales managers, but creates a reporting system to go ahead and allow us to look at any time frame, pull any reports, download our data, and so that we can manipulate it because it's our data, and then even be able to do printable reports. So we're calling that business intelligence, and we rolled it out for sales already to our customers, and we're going to have fixed ops available soon. The intention here is to touch on where some of the other products in the marketplace are, where they're reporting tools. So to separate the difference between reporting and leaderboards and motivator boards are the only system in the marketplace that impact the frontline workers. Increase your sales, your fixed ops, your efficiency, your effective labor rate, your dollar per RO, your op code tracking. We motivate your frontline workers. But other tools in the marketplace only report on past performance. So if you compare the two between the motivator board and a leaderboard and a report, reports are a snapshot of past performance in order to make the future decisions. And so we've always focused on the motivator board or the leaderboard to give minute to date, MTD, month to date, minute to date information to go ahead and motivate people on the front lines to sell more. Making a decision based on past performance is a upper level management and ownership decision. That's not what we're after. That's what we're building with business intelligence. But the idea is to go ahead, how do you motivate your frontline workers to go ahead and sell more in fixed and in variable? And that's what our system does. And then at NADA, we'll be releasing the business intelligence to go ahead and provide those reports for those dealers that have consistently asked for more and more reports on the back end.
Wow.
Wow. No, I love everything about all that. You know, Lou and I, we definitely are big about seeing everything and, you know, tracking things and be able to see it as an individual. It's important. As a leader watching my team, it's important. And definitely as an owner looking at the operations of my store, I definitely need to be able to get my numbers where I want it to be, like this fast, right? So I don't have to look a million different places. So I love that you have a solution that's like literally just, whew, I love it. It's just, it like hits all spectrums right there. And it's to me exactly what is needed for everybody, right? And I think that if you're missing that opportunity to know that kind of stuff that quick and be able to provide that type of fluidity, right, and it's huge. But the opportunity to see places to grow. Let me ask you a really quick question about that. Based in sales, and just in sales department alone, what's the we don't even go five, top 3 things that people should be tracking?
Oh man, on sales, I think it's important to track goals. So, and one of the unique aspects of our board is that regardless of the leaderboard that's on the screen, a different person may be on top. So when most tracker tools, the main person on top is a top performer based on units for previous month. Ours goes ahead and takes individual leaderboards based on what you're tracking. We'll go ahead and have a different order because everyone has different goals or different KPIs that you're doing. So the other one that I really like is trades. So what is a lot of dealers today are really focused on trades, not only because they need that used car inventory, but because they're making more money in used than in new. So if they're able to get someone into a new car and then also have a high trade percentage of that, then they're making more money overall per customer because they're making money obviously on the front end, the back end, but then also on that trade. So it's a win-win when it comes to that. And I think the third thing that's important is just overall interactivity. So our leaderboards are interactive and they could be used for staff meetings. So if you had a wireless mouse connected to it, you could actually click on the report on the big screen and zoom into any report to get more details on any deal or any salesperson productivity. And it becomes a culture builder. The power users of our system, anytime the sale of a vehicle is delivered in the car, everybody in the dealership gets a text message, and then they all congregate around the main sales manager tower, and then they all applaud their team, and then they go ahead and get some observations of where they are based on that. They build a little camaraderie, and then they all get back to work. So it creates culture in the store, which no other program can do. And we really dug into that a lot. When a sale is done, the person's picture pops up on the screen with an animation, and it says their name. It says congratulations to them. And there's no other platform in the marketplace that does something like that. And the opportunity to go ahead and actually become more personable in the dealership and not just be so numbers driven. The higher up you go, they're so focused on numbers of past performance. But how do you motivate your salesperson to sell more today? How do you go ahead and coach them up? We have 5 coaching modules built into our system. How do you go ahead and track all these different KPIs automatically? We update as often as every 15 minutes. And I talked to a dealer today, they do weekly reports, and it takes them 4 hours to build the reports to have the weekly meeting. This is insane. In 2026, when you could go ahead and have a system like ours for minimal amount to go ahead and update every 15 minutes up to 30, 40 different reports, plus all the back end reporting, they're just not investing in their staff.
Wow. And again, I'll be their advocate to say they just don't really know about it right now. They really don't know the depths of it. At first, it could be at glance saying, oh, that's a screen system to entertain my guests. No, there's so much more. And Todd, absolutely love it. We are all about being culture cultivators inside of industry and inside of dealerships. And it is so very, very important that we unify the team in different ways, but especially around the victory of welcoming somebody into our family, welcoming somebody that just crossed the line, jumped over the hump of decision, and made a commitment inside of investing into a nicer, newer ride with that dealership. And if there's anything that is a great opportunity for a team to come together, it's to come celebrate a job well done and somebody that's now inside of the family. And I love hearing how the system does that, because if there's anything that we try to preach everywhere, it's find a way to celebrate your customers, especially as they cross that line of decision. And brother, this is entertaining. This is exciting for us just to know how easy it is for it to be implemented. But on the other side of the administrative end, you're right. There are so many different reports that dealerships struggle with figuring out how to get ready. Sometimes they just don't get them ready because of the tediousness of getting them put together. Then there's a measure of being able to have the data in real time and using it in a way that's motivating. Again, motivating. Too often we use the data to destroy the morale of the moment, and it doesn't help move us in the right direction. It actually just diminishes all of the fire that somebody may come in with inside of the day. But instead, keeping it in front of them, just like you're at a game, right? You're always going to be able to see the clock on the game. You're always going to be able to see what the real stats are, some of the highlights, some of the good stuff in real time at a good game. And when you're at a dealership, goodness, when you're upgrading inside of the automobile that you're going to be jumping in, man, don't you want it to be technologically advanced? Just like the rest of the experience, just like the rest of your environment? Dealers, pay attention. This stuff is good. This is definitely worth you catching a demo on. This is definitely worth you stopping by the booth at NADA and getting the full-fledged experience and seeing it all in real time. But you should book a demo. You got the QR code right here. Make sure that you do set up some time for that. But Todd, this is amazing in the side of being able to make sure that you're cultivating culture, continuity, right? Making sure that we understand what is actually happening and celebrating the customer. But I absolutely love what it is that you're brewing here, Todd. This is a solution for the industry. This is a solution for dealers that really want to figure out how to go to that next level. I'm loving it. I'm excited.
I appreciate it.
No, I absolutely love it, man. And there's one thing that I know for sure. You and your business, they are 100% CGC approved, my friend, and we appreciate you so much. Really are. When I had that conversation with you last week, I was like, Lou, I can't wait to have him on the show. This is going to be really awesome. I knew that we would dig a little deeper, and man, you came out even more passionate about what you're doing today. You were passionate about the day we talked, so I appreciate that. I know that it's going to be a lot of fun at NADA. If they're not seeing you at the booth, and I know guys, gals, solutionaries, one thing I do know is that he's going to be busy and his time is very valuable. So you come by, see him. He's making sure that you dealers get first choice on everything. He's not, if you're a vendor, he'll talk with you, but if there's dealers there, he's all about you guys. That's exactly the same way I am. We're about the people that we're here to help, right? I can make friends and we're all going to make friends throughout this business. But the one thing that's for sure is that I want to make a friend with somebody who needs the help today. And I know for sure, all you dealers out there, if you're not using the system, this is a conversation that is worth having. Go by his booth, make sure that you say hello to him and that you give him some love, but more importantly, learn a little bit. Spend 5-10 minutes. I promise you, you'll be there for 30 because you're going to be so interested in what he has to say. Again, as you guys can see at the bottom, his booth is 4631 West, baby. So come by and check him out. He's going to be out there having some fun. This guy is no joke, man. It's not just what he does in the industry that's great. He's always exceeding everything he does. And I appreciate you, brother, for giving us some time today. Before we get out of here, is there anything that you want to let people know? Anything that you want to tell them that 26 is going to bring them that they should be doing?
I think it's really just focusing on the customer experience and motivating your staff. I think there's a lot of sales to be had in the automotive industry. And for those dealers that invest in the in-store experience for their staff and for the customers are going to win. And we've seen that time and time again, where once it's installed, customers' feedback is always positive. They're overwhelmed by all the information that we have available to them and how it changes the customer experience and the staff motivation in their store. And those dealers that decide to go ahead and invest reap the awards, but they have to make that decision to change.
Come on, they definitely got to make the decision.
You got to change, Lou.
So they be that change. Make that change.
Make that change.
God, there's something that we want to say is thank you. We want to say we appreciate you. Thank you for jumping into automotive. Thank you for bringing an enhancement to the overall experience that a customer has, because at the end of the day, we do want the rest of the public to think differently about the dealership experience. So here is a call to action for you dealers, for you managers, for you sales pros, or you service technicians, or you service writers, service managers, all those that get the chance to face a customer. Take 10 minutes. Go sit inside of your customer lounge. See what the customer sees. Take 10 minutes. Go sit inside of your showroom and just be still. Act like you're the customer. See what the customer sees. Yes, if you see a mess, make sure that it gets cleaned up. Yes, messy desks, make sure that gets cleaned up. Cover up all the documentation that doesn't need to be there. But what is your customer experiencing? Especially in the moments where your representative is not talking to them. How many times do we encourage a sales pro to stay with their customer because the customer can get distracted and get into search mode and just get disenchanted with the moment? This has a way of keeping them engaged. Folks, it's worth you taking the time to see what is the condition of your store now, and then book the demo. Reach out to us, see us at NADA, see Todd at NADA, reach out to them and see what you do to take your service of your customer to the next level. Let's brew, y'all. Let's
brew. And folks, we're going to be at his booth, just so you all know. All our friends, come by, say hello. I'm excited to see you guys. We're going to be kicking off day 2, which is Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is Vegas time. Be there or be square. We're going to be there. We're going to be opening up the day with this guy right here. I'm excited to do that. There's no better person to open up the day than somebody who always brings the morning and always brings the gratitude. So let's keep growing, folks. Let's go. Let's forget Focus Fly, Lou.
Let's go ahead and drop those. So, Todd, we do have these F-bombs that we drop on a consistent basis. I love that you use the word focus so many times. With that, the object is to wipe off the weight of unforgiveness. So, dealers, if you haven't been making it your absolute best effort to give the greatest experience to your customers up till now, up until you heard Todd's voice, cool. Wipe it off. Forgive yourself. Get focused on how you can take your dealership experience to the next level for your customers and for your coworkers, and stretch out. Fly on out to Vegas and see a great demo and see how this experience can actually help your dealership keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. So help us out, Todd. Hands on the shoulders. Let's forgive, focus, fly on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive,
focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing. That's right.
We appreciate each and every one of you for taking time to be in here today. Craig Weber, we appreciate you being out there today, and all you other incredible sales professionals that are out there making things happen in the snow or in the sun. Well, keep brewing solutions, keep making this industry better. I am Lou Ramirez.
And I'm Fred Lenartz.
And you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast from Digital Dealership System. The one, the only Todd
Katcher.
Everybody keep brewing. We are out.